But now the offense stays on the field. The Giants are going for two. They're going for the win with 1:06 to play.
Now listen, if it pans out, it's the gutsiest call of all time.
Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? Let's get into that. Thoughts and opinions. Thoughts and opinions. Everybody has thoughts. Everybody has opinions. Everybody's entitled to their own thoughts, just like they're entitled to their own opinions, and they should be respected. But we already know, in some cases, most cases, the respect for people's thoughts and opinions is just not there sometimes. And another thing is, with these thoughts and these opinions, at the end of the day, somebody has to be wrong and somebody's going to be right. Luckily enough for me, I've never been afraid with being wrong. I've been wrong plenty of times, but it's because of what I believe. And I also think it's a sign of growth to receive new information and change your opinion on things. So for example, Daniel Jones. Let's get right into it. Daniel Jones, rookie year. I said, you know what? This guy has potential. He came in that Tampa Bay game, brought some energy. He brought some energy. He took chances. He was a gunslinger. He threw the ball down the field. Rookie year, I thought he had potential. The next 2 seasons under Joe Judge and Jason Garrett, these are the cards that you were dealt. These are you do what you can do with the cards that you were dealt. Nothing's fair. He became trash to me. Trash. And then it turns into a debate. In comes the 2022 season. The New York Giants have a new head coach, a new regime. They did not pick up the 5th-year option off of being from the outside looking in. Joe Schoen was like, there's no way I'm picking up the 5th-year option on Daniel Jones. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. He put himself in that position. Joe Schoen did. Season comes. The New York Giants make it to the playoffs. The New York Giants win a playoff game. Daniel Jones, in what people call his best season ever, gets 15 touchdowns through the air, another 7 on the ground for 22 touchdowns combined. Meanwhile, the man threw for 24 touchdowns his rookie year. So what are we debating here? What are we debating here? Is he better or is he not better? A year ago, this same time, I stood in front of this camera, and showed a bunch of support for the quarterback. Coming off, they got him paid, even though I didn't believe the money was the right amount of money for him. I think we overpaid for him. But you saw the 2-year out, and you know what? I was like, forget it. We went to the playoffs. I'm going to go ahead and ride with this guy. And some people say, well, what changed? The 2023 season, that's what changed. As soon as you pay the man. And one thing I said, last year we argued about weapons. So, we get Jalen Hyde, we add him. Another year with Wan'Dale Robinson. You add Darren Waller, Paris Campbell at the time, which Paris Campbell ended up being what he was being. But when he left the Indianapolis Colts, when we signed him, he had a pretty decent year coming off of these injuries. So first year healthy and we saw the season come and go. Injuries came and went. And Daniel Jones, even when he was healthy, didn't look right. Now people are blaming on the offensive line. People are blaming on the weapons. There's a lot of blame, but nobody blames it, or a lot of people won't blame it, on the quarterback. They talk about everything else going on around them. Again, rightfully so. But I go back to what I said previously. It's not about what's fair. It's the cards that you were dealt. Everybody wasn't born a millionaire. Some people are self-made. Not everybody drafted as a franchise quarterback. Some of them make themselves franchise quarterbacks. Now, the situation does matter. I'm not going to sit here and say anything like that. The situation absolutely matters. But also time matters. Time matters. Now, I can say all this. I can share my opinion. And the biggest ace is still going to be, well, the New York Giants decided that Daniel Jones was their guy. Okay, cool. But that doesn't mean to me that it's the right decision. Because the GMs get fired every day, coaches get fired every day. I like Joe Schoen. I like what he's done. I like Brian Daboll. I don't want to keep this coaching carousel going on. It is in my best interest for the New York Giants to be successful this year. So that means whether it's Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito, whatever, and people will tear down Drew Lock to defend Daniel Jones, and people will tear down Daniel Jones because they want another quarterback. And I see it all. I understand it all. I've been in both places multiple times. But I'm still sitting here like, yo, I can't change the cards that he was dealt. I can't change what happened with the offensive line. I can't change what happened with what the guys we picked up at wide receiver. Even though right now the excuses are fading away. I keep hearing about the wide receiver 1 situation. Well, some people make wide receiver 1s. They're not drafted wide receiver 1s. But in this case of Malik Nabers, everybody is telling everybody, and I believe it is accepted that Malik Nabers is a number 1 wide receiver. So that's one excuse that fades away. The biggest issue is, what is this offensive line going to look like? And I know a lot of people are like, yeah, what's it going to look like? It has to be better. I don't know how it's going to be better. Well, I do know how, or why I think it should be, is because you went ahead in free agency and you signed a bunch of veteran starters with a lot of starting snaps. Well, a lot of veterans, I should say, you signed a lot of veterans with starting snaps, a lot of starts under their belt. You went and hired a new offensive line coach. You got rid of what a lot of people thought was a problem in Bobby Johnson, and you hired a guy that you knew already you had a relationship with, that had some traction, that has a little bit of cachet from what he did in some previous spots. And that's Carmen Brasillo. And again, I would love for somebody to get Carmen Brasillo an interview where we can actually talk, or he can talk about his philosophy, what he plans on doing, if he thinks that an entire scheme change is something that needs to happen. But that's another episode. But still, the cards are what the cards are. This is the situation. You're telling me no excuses. You got your wide receiver 1. Well, I'm saying no excuses. You got your wide receiver 1. We believe that the offensive line on paper should be better than what it's been the last few years. So for me, and also because I've argued back and forth with people about when is Daniel Jones going to be back? We're seeing pictures of him throwing the ball. He's out there doing football activities with the players. He's out there throwing. Does that mean he's going to be better? I don't know. I didn't believe. I don't believe he'll be ready week 1. But if he's ready week 1, even more, is even more to the point where there's no excuses. Because if he's throwing now, I'm assuming by the time training camp gets here, he'll be building that chemistry with the wide receivers, with the new set of running backs, the offensive line, calling out protections. We should be ready to go. If everything is what you guys say it is, we should be ready to go week 1. We made the decision, right? Joe Schoen, the organization, they made the decision to put all their eggs in the Daniel Jones basket. That's what happened. And it's just up to the team to prove a lot of people wrong and right. Depending on where you stand, you got to get proven wrong or right or wrong, whatever, however you want to see it, however you want to view it. For me, as a New York Giants fan for a lot of years, 30 plus, I just want to win. I just want to win games. So if it's Daniel Jones winning us games, fine. If it's Drew Lock winning us games, that's fine. If it's Tommy DeVito winning us games, fine. just win the games. Just give us a chance to win these games. Just lead the New York Giants into wherever or against whatever team we're playing and win the game. That's what you do when you're a franchise quarterback, and everybody is telling me that Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback. That's what I'm hearing. You paid him like a franchise quarterback. He got to play like a franchise quarterback. Forget the help. You got to be able to see it. Is every play going to be blocked perfectly? Absolutely not. But when they are, you better make the play. When guys get open, you better make the play. When it's time to push the ball, you better make the play. It's that simple. I don't have time to be hating on players. It's about the team at the end of the day. I didn't plant my flag on Daniel Jones. I didn't plant my flag on Drew Lock. Did I want them to address the quarterback position? Absolutely. But I didn't plant my flag when it comes to this team. I might have had strong opinions about certain players. That's one thing, because I believe in what my eyes see. And I also believe in what my eyes don't see. Hyatt is open, by the way. Slayton is open, by the way. Wan'Dale Robinson is open, by the way. Darren Waller was open, by the way. And use Daniel Bellinger the right way. Now that we got Theo Johnson, use him the right way too before we even get a chance to see him play on the field. Use all these guys the right way. And shout out to the defense. But again, this is all about thoughts and opinions. Somebody has to be right. Somebody has to be wrong. That's fine. It's in the best interest of the Giants fan base for these guys to win games, though, because you can't just go ahead and tear the whole thing down again. Success is something that it's not a compromise. It's not a compromise, and it's year 3 of a new regime. When we first hired Joe Shane and Brian Dable, there was enthusiasm. After that first season, there was enthusiasm. It's only been 2 seasons, I understand that. But when we got Joe Shane, we already knew it was going to take some time for the Giants to get built up. It just so happens that first year we were wildly successful. Now, was it fool's gold? Probably so. But when I break it down into, what it really is, you had 1 good year and you had 1 bad year. Year 3 is going to let you know exactly where the New York Giants are as far as rebuild versus competing. And the way that they double down, and the contracts tell me this, the trade tells me this for Brian Burns, the choices that you made in the draft tells me that you're trying to compete right now. You're trying to fill the holes that need to be filled, and it's time to compete. You got your franchise quarterback, guy making over $100 million. It's time to compete. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't ask for grace and then still want wins. You can't do that. You can't ask the fan base for patience, Joe Shane, when you had chances to do some things that people, thought you should have done. You got to be right. Joe Shane has to be right. Brian Dable has to be right. Because I tell you what, John Mara is night and day. He runs cold and he runs hot. What'd he say last year? You can go from Bono to Bozo. And the New York Giants did go from Bono to Bozo. And now season 3 of this regime is here. And it's time to put up or shut up. Back in 2022, when we got these guys, we thought, okay, 2 years of a rebuild, we should be ready to compete in year 3. And we're here at year 3, and we better compete. And that's it. That's it. That's my rant for the day. That is my rant for the day. Thoughts and opinions. Everybody has one, or everybody has thoughts and opinions. Respect people's thoughts and opinions. But also, you got to give you got to give a little. You got to give a little because these hard stances, and I got hard stances too, but I'm prepared to be wrong. I welcome being wrong, especially in this situation. I welcome it. I want the New York Giants to succeed. I want these guys to be the guys. I want to compete this year in the division. I want to compete this year in the playoffs. The writing's on the wall. What's going to happen? As far as optimism goes, again, I told you guys in the previous video, my optimism is gone. It's all about show and proof. It's about results. I'm not giving anybody the benefit of the doubt. Anybody. But if we go out there and we are winning games, I also don't want to hear anything from the other end either. I will be proven wrong. I will shut up and enjoy these wins like a Giants fan should, regardless of who is giving us these wins. And it is what it is after that. Well, it's not it is what it is after that. After you've proven you can win and compete in a division, then damn it, it's time to go win another Super Bowl. And that's it. That's it. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Nation. That means everybody. Let's go.